In Moonlight, black boys look blue. You blue. That's why I gonna call you. Blue.
So your name Blue?
Nah. At some point, you gotta decide for yourself who you gonna be. Can't let nobody make that decision for you.
The movie Moonlight often symbolizes that moonlight is showing your true self to the world. To be blue means to be your true innermost self, and not to let anyone else tell you who you are. The story Moonlight is a movie based on a young black man's life who's struggling to find his true identity and sexuality due to living in the societal expectations of a boy in the streets of Miami. During the first act, Little is shy, emotional, and doesn't stand up for himself or take action. However, when confronted by Kevin or Juan, he feels secure and trusts them. In every scene where Chiron is with Kevin or Juan, we see a transition from dark colors to a vibrant blue within the surroundings of the scene. Juan is Chiron's role model. He might not be the best since he sells crack to his mom, and that causes the trust issues within Chiron's home. However, he does symbolize how Chiron wants to be seen and is Chiron's teacher.
Let your head rest in my hand. Relax. I got you, I promise. I'm not gonna let you go. Hey, man, I got you. There you go. 10 seconds. That right there, you're in the middle of the world, man. That's good. You like that? More athletic.
Juan brings him to the beach and teaches him to relax and get his mind off his problems. This moment is seen as a baptism into Chiron's new way of life. Chiron is birthed into the middle of the world and is taught the importance of deciding how he wants to be viewed. The vulnerability of being in the ocean in this scene is also seen as living in the real world. This scene holds significance for the rest of the story. The metaphor that Juan tells Chiron about the moonlight and the color blue paves the way for most of the passionate parts of this story. Juan and Teresa are the loving parents that Chiron has never had. They provide food, bedding, and most importantly, a healthy nature and nurturing environment. Both these things help with raising Chiron and let him find what he wants most for himself. Their house's walls are pink and the furniture is a vibrant blue. Pink is the color of compassion and love, and the blue symbolizes a place where Chiron can truly be blue or be himself. We do see the same blue walls in his own home. However, as time goes on into his adolescent years, the house walls change from blue to white. His relationship with his mother loses all color and becomes empty of love. 2 of the 3 acts include an antagonist, and like a bad guy, the antagonist is wearing something red. In the act Little, Chiron's mother yells at him while wearing a red shirt. The red symbolizes aggression and hatred towards him. She then walks into the pink room and turns her back to him. In the story, this resembles her as she turns her love, time, and compassion from him to crack and drugs. In Act 2, Chiron, The main antagonist is Terrell, and during the first scene of the act, he is wearing a red shirt. The writer is trying to impose some aggression and violence from the audience and Chiron onto Terrell. We will get back to how Terrell affects Chiron, but for now, let's talk about how Chiron and Kevin relate to each other. When Chiron has nowhere to go to stay for the night, he somehow finds Kevin under the moonlight at the beach. When the two are found under the blue-tinted moonlight and are in the breeze, they find sides of each other that they have never seen before. Kevin recounts the breeze as sweeping through the hood and wanting to catch it. The breeze is described as the feeling to release that exterior self and spend time with the one that is truly you. That means the breeze and moonlight are connected in some way, and as they talk under the moonlight, they earn each other's trust, understand each other, and become connected by love. When school rolls around the next day, Terrell gets Kevin to beat up kid that Terrell will choose, and Terrell, unfortunately, chooses Chiron. Kevin is forced to beat up Chiron, or he will be beaten up by the entire group behind him. This abolishes the possible relationship Kevin and Chiron could have had. When Chiron gets beaten up, it serves as a wake-up call for him to stand up for what he believes within himself and take action. When Chiron goes to school the next day, he walks tall and confidently, is wearing all blue, and the color blue is stronger than ever in the school around him. This goes back to the quote from earlier. To be blue is to be yourself, and in the scene, Chiron stands up for himself and what he believes in. At the very beginning of Act 3, there's a red flashing light. It directly contradicts the blue flashing light from the beginning of Act 2. The blue light in Act 2 symbolized Chiron being himself and wanting others to see him as Chiron. However, Act 3's red flashing light contradicts the quote from earlier. In Act 3, Chiron goes by the name that brought discontent, and it contradicts how Juan said that you shouldn't define yourself as what others define you as. When Kevin finally calls black again, he is in the blue light, as if the color from the adolescent years has finally reached back into his heartstrings. And black, just like back then, doesn't have the confidence to talk to Kevin. When Black goes to Kevin's house in Miami, he feels the warmth and comfort of the orange light from the street lamp, and he feels the breeze that brought Kevin and himself together all those years ago. And after that, when Black is ready to say what he has wanted to tell Kevin this entire time, he says it when Kevin has a blue shirt on. After all that, the two are comfortable in the orange-tinted room. Finally, at the end of the movie, Little appears to be looking out at sea, in the moonlight, with the breeze, and he looks back at us. To me, this is Little looking at us as if we are him at this moment, where he has found himself with Kevin after all these years. And he is asking us, who are you? He invites us to think about the vulnerable mindset Juan has set in place for him. What Little is telling us is that we all have things we'd like to hide, and it is impossible to know who we really are until we are put into such a position.